If you think flattering swimwear over 50 doesn't exist, think again. I've rounded up swimsuits so good, you might just volunteer to host the next pool party. From tummy control that actually works to clever little optical illusions, these are the suits that help you feel comfortable, confident, and ready to strut to your lounge chair like you own the place. Let's start with the magic of ruching. That soft gathering across the middle. It is pure magic. It smooths, disguises, and instantly makes you look sleeker, even if you've just polished off a poolside margarita and a basket of chips. And here's why ruching works so well. When the fabric's gathered into gentle folds, it breaks up the visual space across your tummy. Instead of one flat, unforgiving panel, you get soft texture that blurs any lumps and bumps. It's like a little optical illusion because your eye doesn't land in one spot, so everything looks smoother. I always like to say, if a suit doesn't have a little ruching going on, it better have something else spectacular, like a genius tummy control panel or a perfectly placed print, because you're missing out on one of the simplest ways to camouflage the middle. And I have a couple tips for you when you're shopping for swimwear with ruching. Look for suits that have ruching running diagonally or gathered on one side, because that's going to create a beautiful wrap effect and make your waist look more defined. Darker colors with ruching are even more slimming, but don't be afraid of a print. Some of the prettiest bathing suit styles I've seen combine ruching with subtle pattern for double the flattery. I also want you to check for where the ruching starts and ends. You'll want it to cover the whole tummy area, not just a little band across the rib cage. Next, let's talk about color blocking that cheats the eye. This is hands down one of my favorite tricks because it works on everyone. It's like a little magic spell and no one can quite figure out why you look so sleek. Darker colors recede visually, while lighter colors or prints stand out. And it's the swimwear equivalent of contouring your waist. The next thing to look for are diagonal stripes. These are fabulous because they visually break up the tummy and create movement. A diagonal stripe cutting across the midsection or angling down from the bust draws the eye up and in, slimming you from every angle. It's almost like it's saying, look over here, and avoiding the area you don't want shown. Next, let's talk about smaller prints. If you love pattern, go for a smaller all-over print rather than one huge hibiscus bloom right on your belly button. Smaller prints are so much more forgiving and they keep the eye moving. And I always like to tell women, if you're gonna do a bold color or print, put it in the place you want to highlight, like the bust or the shoulders, and keep the tummy area darker or more subtle. The key is about directing the attention where you want it to be seen and where you feel most confident. Next, let's talk about real tummy control that doesn't feel like a sausage casing. You know, tummy control can be a huge lifesaver or a complete nightmare, depending on the suit. Some of them feel like you are squeezing into an industrial tube of spandex. And by the time you wriggle it on, you're ready to swear off swim season altogether. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to settle for that. The right swimsuit will smooth and hold your midsection without making you feel like you need an oxygen tank. You deserve to feel comfortable and confident. So here's what actually works. The first one on my list is power mesh. Think of this as a lightweight secret layer built right into the lining. It hugs your tummy and smooths everything out, but you can sit down, you can breathe, and have lunch without regretting your life choices. Next, tummy control panels. A little extra reinforcement across the front helps create a smooth shape. The good ones feel like really gentle shapewear, supportive without cutting off your circulation. And finally on that list, compression fabric. What you're going to look for is a fabric with a higher percentage of spandex, usually around 20 to 30%. That's what's going to give you a nice held in feel that you can still move in. And I have a few things to keep in mind while you're shopping. If you're between sizes, go up a size. Look at the smooth effect without feeling squeezed. Do a little test when you're trying it on. Lift your arms, bend over, twist from side to side. A great suit should feel secure and stay in place without pinching you anywhere. And final word I have on this is be cautious about anything labeled extra firm control. That usually means it's going to be pretty rigid, and most of us really prefer a softer hold. Next one I have for you is Tankinis. that don't look like you're hiding. If you love the idea of a two-piece, but you can't stand the thought of your entire midsection being on display, Tankinis can be your best friend. The key is picking the right ones that look modern, not like you borrowed it from a clearance rack 15 years ago. You might want to rethink Tankinis now, because the right Tankini is going to give you options. You get coverage where you want it, a convenient top, and you can easily slip down the bottom when you need to rush to the bathroom without having to take off your whole suit. And I am actually a big fan of those blouson tankinis. They kind of drape gently over the tummy instead of clinging to every inch. And they're really great if you want a little extra room without feeling shapeless. And if you prefer something sleeker than the blouson, look for a longer length tankini with a higher waisted bottom, because this combo is going to smooth everything out and gives you the feel of the one piece with the ease of separates. And let's clear this up right now. Tankinis do not need to look frumpy. Some of them are downright chic, with beautiful prints, wrap details, and flattering necklines that feel really fresh and modern. Now I have a couple shopping tips for you when you're looking for tankinis. Check that the top has some built-in support, especially if you need a little lift up top. A shelf bra or molded cups are going to make a big difference. And if you're mixing and matching sizes, be sure to try on a few combinations. You'll often find your perfect size if you size up in the bottoms or down in the top. And don't be afraid of a color or pattern. A printed tankini top with a solid bottom is one of the easiest ways to draw the eye upwards and balance your shape. Next, I have swim dresses that feel fresh. Now, before you discount swim dresses, I know swim dresses have had a very rough reputation. For years, they were the sad little options that you'd find on the clearance rack in loud, questionable prints that nobody wanted. And they looked more like shower curtains than swimwear. But you know what? Times have really changed and come around for swim dresses. They have actually had a glow up, and now they're elegant, flattering, and perfect if you want extra coverage without feeling like you're hiding. The trick in swim dresses is all in the cut. You'll want a style with a defined waist and just enough flare through the hips to glide over your tummy and thighs, because this is going to actually give you movement without that tent-like effect. And here's what to look for when you're shopping for a swim dress. Look for a defined waist seam. And I think this is essential because it actually adds structure to the suit and keeps the silhouette from looking boxy. And also look for built-in briefs or comfortable lining, because you don't want to be worrying about what's happening under the skirt. Also, look for one with a flattering neckline. A V-neck or a wrap style elongates your neck and draws the eye upward. And one more tip, don't be afraid to try a swim dress even if you've never worn one. The right one feels a lot like your favorite sundress, just made for the water. You get coverage and comfort, but you still look polished enough to walk straight from the pool to an outdoor picnic. Next, let's talk about rash guards and swim leggings. And yes, we're really talking about that. If you're looking for more coverage and solid sun protection, rash guards and swim leggings are such a smart option. And before you picture yourself dressed like a pro surfer about to tackle 20-foot waves, hear me out. These pieces have also come a long way. The newer styles are genuinely chic. Think sleek black, modern color blocking that look intentional, not like you're hiding from the world. You get protection for your skin and feel confident without sacrificing style. And here's a few reasons why I love the rash guard swim leggings combo. They're really great for days when you want to be active. Paddleboarding, kayaking, walking on the beach, but you don't want to be reapplying your sunscreen every 30 minutes. In fact, I had several pairs of these when I used to go paddleboarding when we lived in California. They're lightweight, they're quick dry, and you won't feel soggy. And they're great if you just simply feel more comfortable being a bit more covered up. There's no rule that says swimwear has to be skimpy to be flattering. So I've got some shopping tips for you to get this look right. Look for rash guards with a zipper in the front. It's going to make it so much easier to get them on and off, especially when they're wet. And when we're talking about leggings, choose leggings or swim tights with a wide waistband that's going to stay put and smooth the tummy. And don't be afraid to mix and match colors. A printed top with a solid bottom feels really fresh and modern. Now let's talk about bust support that lifts. Now I know we've talked mostly about tummy control, but let's have a little heart-to-heart about the girls. Because after 50, gravity is not just a rumor. It's a daily reality. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you have to hoist things up every time you move. And here's what's going to actually work when you want things sitting a little higher and feeling secure. First is underwire cups. And think of these as your swimsuit's built-in bra. They lift, they shape, they keep things where they belong. No drooping or squishing. And then another option is soft molded cups. And they're perfect if you don't want an underwire, but you still want some structure. And those are going to help smooth everything out without feeling stiff. Next, let's talk about adjustable straps. And I think these are a must because you can tighten them or loosen them to get just the right fit. So nothing is slipping off your shoulders or moving around while you're swimming. And you can also look into high neckline styles. These are going to keep everything in place so you don't have to worry about popping out. And I just want to call this out. For most of us, at this age, a strapless swimsuit is basically a recipe for disaster, even if it looks cute on the hanger. In reality, it's a lot of constant tugging, adjusting, and feeling like you're one sneeze away from a wardrobe malfunction. And if you're determined to go strapless because you don't want tan lines, look for one with serious reinforcement. Think of things like an internal shelf bra, grippy strips along the edges, and optional straps that you can snap in place when you need support while swimming. But in my opinion, a classic strap style will save you a lot of hassle and keep everything comfortably in place. And here's a quick tip before you hit add to cart. Always read the product description, not just the title, but the full product description to make sure you're getting exactly this kind of support you're looking for. If it just says lined, it's usually one thin piece of fabric. Not nearly enough if you want everything looking in place and staying lifted. I also have some quick tips so you don't regret your purchase. If you're ordering online and you have a deadline, maybe you have a special family event coming up and you need a swimsuit or you're going on vacation, always order 2 sizes because swimsuit sizing is its own special kind of nonsense. And it's not you, it's the suit. And trying a couple of sizes is going to be the easiest way to save you any frustration. And then once you've received a suit or you're in the fitting room, try the bend test. Move around, lift your arms, sit down, twist from side to side. If anything rides up or gaps open or feels like it's about to pop out of place, that suit's going back. The next tip I have is don't forget to check the backside in good lighting because some suits have a very sneaky way of flattening everything back there and not in a cute way. So do a quick look over your shoulder to tell if it's working for you or against you. Swimsuit shopping does not need to be a horror movie. And as always, I'll provide links to all of the suits that I showed today in the description. Which of these suits are you tempted to try this summer? Or do you already have a go-to brand suit that makes you feel fabulous? Let me know in the comments. You know I love hearing from you. Stay gorgeous, and I'll see you in the next video.